Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Online Creators Association's Monday night stream. I'm TX Watson, and I'm here with Micah, Cecilia, and Argit, and we are talking about planning your online audience. How's it going?
I just went live on TikTok. I ran so fast, I had to get my giant jug of water. But we're here, we did it. Hello, TikTok audience. If you are seeing me, I'm not going to talk to you here. I'm going to talk to you on twitch.tv/officialtoka. Wow, look at me, getting back into the swing of things. Okay. So the way in which we're talking about like this concept of like planning your audience is the exercise called personas?
I wasn't. So personas are a specific thing that you can do. That wasn't really what I. That's a specific thing that I plan on doing, but that wasn't really what I planned on going for like a conversation about tonight. I wanted to have a more general conversation. But personas are a thing you can do where you come up with like characters that sort of like represent sectors of your audience or like the intended audience that you want to like market towards, so that you, rather than trying to think about like, will my audience like this thing, you can think of like, will Dave like this thing? And Dave is one of the characters you've come up with. And that makes it a lot easier to decide, like, you know, like if you have an idea and it's like, oh, I know some of the people who watch these videos are going to be annoyed about this idea. You can look at your personas and say, okay, of any of the kinds of people I've decided I care about appealing to, are any of them pissed I made this video? If no, like if Trevor the NFT bro isn't on your persona list, then you can make the video shit talking NFTs.
I like that we always manage to bring it back to how much we don't like EFTs. So if we are not approaching it from that perspective, just the general idea of building in how you intentionally build your audience and what that looks like.
Yeah, because one of the things that we've talked about occasionally, I know, Cecilia, you've mentioned it a lot on TikTok, talking about like, just like when drama goes down, that like a lot of creators will have like their audience will be doing shitty things and they'll say like, I can't control what my audience does. And like, while to an extent that's true, the point is always there, like you have made decisions about what kind of audience to cultivate and what to communicate, what you have set that audience up to expect is appropriate behavior in response to your content.
If you have an audience that is interested in persecution and what is the word I'm looking for? Punitive justice. If you have an audience that's really interested in that, if you have set up that expectation and then you are surprised when you mess up and say something about someone that might not have been true, but your whole audience goes after them, you set yourself up for that. Sorry, buddy, that was really irresponsible. So there are ways to talk. It's so hard because every once in a while I will see someone who follows me say a shitty thing under someone else's video and I will block that person. I have no control over those like little bits and pieces of interactions, but I do have a fair amount of control over what people expect from me and what people go out into the world thinking and feeling after interacting with me. And that is a level of control that I feel like a lot of creators don't realize they have, and they feel like they are screaming into the void, and it can feel very anxiety inducing to just be screaming into the void and not know how anyone is going to take that information and do whatever with that information. It can be very frightening.
Mm-hmm. And outside of just like worrying about the possible moral implications of the type of audience you've cultivated relative to your content, but it's also worth thinking about like, what do I want my audience to be feeling or thinking? Like what, like, am I cultivating an audience that is going to be okay with some things I might want to be able to say at some point? Like, I am specifically thinking about this because I've been thinking about it a lot in the past couple of days, because I'm planning to go into a PhD program studying parasocial relationships. And so one of the things I'm thinking about is I want to make sure that the people I am prioritizing making comfortable in my audience are people who are gonna be okay with the fact that I will talk about them like they are research subjects. Like people who are, I want to make sure that like I'm thinking about am I setting myself up so that a lot of people are going to be really mad when I inevitably at some point refer to the fact that they have a relationship with me that I study?
Is it too soon to say that I'm comfortable being
I would be
addressed as guinea
honored to
pig?
be one of your lab rats.
Watson, I feel like maybe as you said it, because Watson is also setting up a Discord, and that's a whole other conversation that we can probably segue into at some point.
Yeah.
I do feel that perhaps the current system you have outlined, while good, should maybe include a level called lab rats. It would put people who are just joining in their place. You know, it would let them know exactly where they fall.
Yeah, so I'm working on setting up a new Discord, just because my existing one is an absolute rat's nest. So for I think all three of you might be in my Discord. You guys don't know about the archive channels. That Discord has been multiple other projects prior to it being my Discord for TikTok. There are like 40 archived channels.
No,
Some of them are public.
Surprise!
There's an archive section. I see. I just don't go in there.
What is it? Which ones are public?
Reading
I
group
just don't go in
announcement
there.
archive under the reading group archived, Patreon archive. There's Patreon talk, Patreon content, brainstorming notes, Watson's commentors. And then
Okay.
under archive, but again, if you just change the settings on the category and say apply this to all of the channels,
I mean,
It
as
should
long
be
as it's
applied
not
to all
like
of the
the ones from when I was developing the zines for my Div 3.
I've never seen anything about zines.
All
I
I
will
see
send
is,
you a precise screen cap too. Just, but
I only see 3 archive channels. So
it's definitely weird
not-
then that there's different.
I'm not going to
Anyway.
go. Listen, it's fine. It's fine. That's going
It's
away
totally
now.
fine. It is,
Going
yes.
away
No, this is why you're doing the thing. This is why you're like, okay, we're just going to move away from this and we're going to reset it up over here with different, and it's going to be better.
Right.
One out of cake on my TikTok said some of them are still live. The absolute fear response I would have.
The one other thing I wanted to mention from the previous part of the conversation, I can't remember names. Just for anybody who doesn't know this already, I never remember names. I remember avatars, profile pictures, whatever. That's what I remember. So I don't remember who said this. And I think it was a couple of different famous people. I've watched it happen multiple times on TikTok. The second you start to hear from anybody that like your fans, your people who follow you are, whether on your behalf or not, going after these people because of something other thing. If you make even one little video, even one 15-second clip, by the way, you're not doing this for me, you're doing this for you, please stop. It reduces so much. I remember there's at least one article, I swear to God, I want to say it was, what's his face who played Obi-Wan in the most recent Star Wars things?
Ewan McGregor?
Thank you, Ewan McGregor. I swear to God, some
Ewan
part
McGregor-
of this.
No, Ewan McGregor just put out a statement about, hey, you can't be a Star Wars fan and be
Thank
racist
you.
to one of our main cast members.
Okay.
But in terms of people, I distinctly remember, I believe it was Domestic Blisters, put out just a short video saying, like, if you ever, if this is a message to people who follow me and people who consume my content regularly, even if you don't follow me, but if you ever go after somebody in my name, that is not in my name, because I
Yes.
would never want that. And making that boundary clear to people is surprisingly important.
Yes.
I think most recently Mama Tot just had to do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. And again, she is trying. There are some people who are still not interested in listening, so that's still
We cannot get into it.
fizzling, and that's enough. But yeah, that's why it's also important that when it comes to your attention, to say something soon. Don't sit on it.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Anyway.
And beyond that, there's the more granular level of just like when you're interacting with your audience in your own comment section, the like shades of tone with which you respond to various ideas. Like if you like someone's comment where they make a shitty joke about somebody else, that is communicating to them that like that is a pathway down which your approval can be earned. Like that kind of relationship that you're cultivating on the like very granular level of how you interact with commenters, how you talk about things even in videos that aren't like just statements about the way that people react to the way that people like engage with other people you talk about, on a much more like person, like just the way that you set up your audience's idea of what their relationship is to you. If you want to be responsible about it, you need to be setting it up in a way that they know that they will not get the impression that they can earn your approval by being cruel to others.
I'm sorry, I am laughing because someone in my TikTok, real local celebrity, said in my TikTok live, okay, but hear me out. What if we're going after J.K. Rowling? So it does not necessarily apply. This is like a person-to-person, creator-to-creator level kind of thing. This is like, if we are talking about politicians, if we were talking about people with actual power, being mean about them in my TikTok comments isn't going to do anything. And I am going to like those.
Yeah, and like the conversation we're having right now is not a like these are the morals you should have conversation. It's a these are the ways you should be thinking through how you have control over what your audience does, and you should be making intentional decisions about it. If you personally are fine with like a bunch of people in your comments harassing a 14-year-old girl you stitched who has 200 followers, I think you're a monster, and I probably would want to kick you out of Toka, but like that's your call. That's how you're running your platform.
Yep. We don't know how to actually like make rules around that because that is extremely difficult to police, and we wouldn't really be able to be a full-time job for hundreds of people. At that point, we'd have our own little content moderation team. But like, just know if you do that and you are someone who's like my mutual, and I see that, I'm going to send you a message, and it's going to be a really rude message. It's going to be really awful. And
Listen, there's a reason that as a follower of several people or a mutual of people, like if I'm about to be a terrible person in their comment section, I usually ask them how terrible I'm allowed to be. Because 9 times out of 10, like if it's not warranted, I will be told, please don't, and I won't.
I love it. Permission to unleash.
All 3 of you have absolutely had me at some point be like, can I be bad?
The only time I ever go and fight with people in my mutuals comments is if those mutuals are in a server with me and we are talking about it like on a back channel.
When I have moderated your comments, Watson, I have said to you, how mean am I allowed to get? And your response is usually, I delete and block. Because engaging is not worth it. And it's so funny because that is my policy as well. Like if
it's not just that it's not worth it. And this is another really good example of like cultivating your audience. I am pretty careful to try and avoid cultivating an anti-fandom. Which, by the way, I made a video about this a while ago called where I called them hate fandoms, but it turns out this concept is in the literature and it's called anti-fandom. So I don't want to block somebody who has spent like 45 minutes developing a specific relationship of hate to me. I want to block them when they're going to feel like somebody with blue hair blocked me, which, by the way, nobody who I block can tell the difference between blue and green.
They can't. Something's wrong there, but yeah, they can't.
I was talking about that on my stream on Saturday because it's just like some people, they're so deeply committed to social scripts, and like it's obviously it's white transphobes that do this, but they're like so deeply committed to social scripts that they can't even change the color in the joke they're repeating.
We're all blue hair liberals.
Yeah, the brief amount of time that green, which I'm pretty sure is the same green.
Beautiful, thank you. Thank you for that joke about color perception in ancient Greek.
I love jokes about fucking ancient Greece so much. But the brief amount of time that my hair was at least a little bit green, I got more like weird blue hair liberal comments, and I was like, the bottle says it's forest green, and when I wash it, it's very green in my bathtub. So I'm just wondering where it's coming. But yeah, the social script is so strong they cannot stray from it, even to name the color correctly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because like again, that
I'm gonna do it.
I still from helping my other friend because he does political content on TikTok. Sometimes you don't even have your hair like bleached or dyed or anything either, and they still call you that because they associate that.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's so weird. Anyway.
But like, yeah, so like the reason that I block and delete so quickly is because I don't want somebody to have time to like get a specific impression of my relationship, and that is part of audience cultivation. It's that I don't want there to be room for an audience to start to form whose relationship to me is antagonistic.
Yeah.
Like there are creators who absolutely like they build their platform in part on an anti-fandom where they have people in their comments who are just being shitty, and they like they video respond to those comments because it's free content to just dunk on those people. But like that feeds something that that feeds an entity within their fandom that I personally like don't want to have to deal with at any point in my future.
Well, and also on an Al Gore's rhythm level, it does tell TikTok this is the kind of user that is interacting with this person's content regularly, and that it's not even just that you are cultivating this audience, it's that you're cultivating it and TikTok is giving you even more. So you're just double screwing yourself over.
The set of people you are cultivating is also cultivating the sample set that TikTok uses to reference against which people to show your videos to.
Yes.
I also, there's been, I see people continuing to talk more and more about it too, the dialogue of like giving credit to whoever said the original thing. So a lot of people, for example, will like take the screen cap of the comment to say that I don't want to give any more energy back to this person, and or I have already blocked this person, but I do want to address the issue in the comment, which the first time that I saw that too, I was just like, oh, thank goodness, they're covering all of their bases from the yes, I'm giving this person credit for having said this thing, even though it was inappropriate, and here's why.
And the double layer that a lot of people have been doing now of just completely blocking out the username, blocking out the avatar, to the point where it's just like, someone said this, here is why this is not an appropriate thing to say on my channel.
My preferred like gold standard way to interact with shitty comments when you want to respond to them is block and delete, and then make a video. Do not reference the original comment. Don't like open by describing the comment. Just make a video asserting the point that is contrary to the comment.
Yeah. It's still free content, guys.
Yeah, like you don't even need to give air to voicing the shitty opinion. You can just make a video voicing the non-shitty opinion.
Wow.
So I think
concept.
I definitely agree with that concept. I will say I have seen people use the original, like what was originally said, as a way to set a very hard boundary with their user base.
Yeah.
Of if this shows up in my comments, you will be blocked and deleted. There will be no conversation.
Yeah.
And like I kind of appreciate that because it does set a very clear idea to your audience about what is and is not acceptable.
Definitely. And I don't mean, when I say that that's like the gold standard in my head, I don't mean that that's like the only acceptable way to handle things. I just think like that is the way to handle things that does the absolute most to avoid giving any fuel to a shitty side of the discourse.
Yeah, especially when it's discourse and not just an inappropriate comment. You know, the other situation in which having the actual comment is valuable is when it's like, hey, here's a dog whistle.
Yeah.
Recognize it. My concerns, I have seen so many, and every time I see it, I want to claw my own eyes out. When I see people reply to comments from real neo-Nazis on the platform, because again, you are telling TikTok, this is the audience that interacts with me. This is the audience that I interact with. You are potentially bringing more danger to yourself if you do that. So it is much better to screenshot it, block everything out, and be like, here's a dog whistle, recognize the dog whistle. We are all educating ourselves if you want to do that. You don't have to put yourself through that. But if you want to, you can, and that's the safest way to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a conversation I have with people fairly often.
If you want to, if you feel like you're going to be okay, you don't have to. You don't have to fight every second.
Listen, I'm
You
not saying that I have a couple of mutuals where that's their account. It's just
I know.
If you guys wouldn't terribly mind a slight pivot, I do feel like we've sort of exhausted this topic.
And yet,
So I did a 13-hour long live stream on Saturday because I needed
didn't know that
$1,000.
You sent me a message, and I woke up from a 4-hour nap to find that you had raised $1,000. I was like, proud of them. They did that without me, even though they asked me to come into the live.
By the way, Cecilia, I am working on a video about social capital that's probably going to bump the video that I was going to put out on Wednesday. I do still want you on my stream, and I don't want you to look up what milk list means before then.
I haven't looked it up. I was going to ask you at some point, but like I won't now.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you on Wednesday.
I know.
I know, I thought you were going to say it right now. I'm trying not to die.
Okay.
But the reason that I'm bringing this up now is that one of the other things that I'm thinking about when I think about the construction of personas is a thing that has made me anxious in the past is that when I ask my audience to help me financially, there are occasionally people in my audience who are like, I'm really put off by you asking for money. This is my job. I really need to be consciously excluding them from people I care about impressing. And that's like having like a much more clear way that I can look at a chart of these are the people I care about impressing. Is this person being represented in this group? No, because these people all care about supporting me. If you want to be a professional content creator, then one of the things that you need to be thinking about is cultivating an audience that is comfortable with you expressing a need for money, and of whom some subsets have money to offer.
It is so consistently surprising to me. One, because I am, I think something about working for a union just made me like, doesn't everyone consistently talk about money and negotiate about money and talk and think about how we can raise these rates here? No one is ever thinking about that, and everyone is scared to talk about it constantly.
And people will absolutely put that fear on you in a very concerned, I'm just worried that you're alienating your audience way.
Shut the fuck up. That's the only I have zero constructive responses to people saying maybe you shouldn't be doing this as your job and saying I need to raise money right now.
I've come to really like those people in my live because it's a good 10-15 minutes worth of material to just explain to them that begging people for money is how everyone who isn't independently wealthy makes a living, and you just do it in a more culturally sanctioned way with specific negotiation with your boss.
We're all trapped here, friend.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We all have to earn wages. Unfortunately, we are all here.
The way that everybody gets money is by asking people who have money to give them that money.
I am still because I'm the way that I am, I just consistently forget to tell people that I have a Patreon, I have all of these things that I do things on. I'm better at plugging other people's projects than I am my own project. And it's not because I am modest, it is because I am so wrapped up in existence that I forget to talk about it. But
I just want to say that right now I just got a $5 Venmo for being a wine dark hair colored liberal. Thank you to whoever sent that.
Wait,
okay, can we make that a trend now? Because
I would like to bring this out into the wider world on TikTok after we. Wait, Watson, did you ever post the meat museum post?
I did. Unfortunately, you can't boost a reply, so I had to boost the original, and it didn't do very well because I think it just reads as a real post.
Damn it.
Um,
I love
Hey, more content.
which, by the way, if you go to my Tumblr, openlylyingforclout.tumblr.com, and you send me $10, I will boost a post of my choice, sending it out to, I think, 2,500
Yeah.
people who did not follow my blog, just putting it in front of them against their will.
Yeah.
So if you want to help me lie to strangers on the internet, it's $10 a boost.
I love the replies that those get of just like people being like, yeah, okay. Like seeing the tag misinformation and being like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I'll
I
reply
really love the thank you for paying to make me see lies.
Oh god. But this coming back to it, being paid for your activities and cultivating an audience that is okay with you talking about that and like saying, you know, here is where you can find me and here's the amount. When I think about this, I think about Kiki, whose username I'm like suddenly forgetting.
And I just want to say, while you try and figure that out, that it doesn't necessarily have to be your audience is okay with you asking them for money, but you need to, if you want to do this professionally, if you want content creation to be the way you make your living, then you need to figure out what the actual pathway that money comes through is, and you need to make sure you're cultivating an audience that is okay with that pathway. If it's principally brand deals, then you need to be thinking about like making sure you have an audience who's not going to be pissed if you have a lot of brand deals. If it's principally asking for support on things like direct donations or on stuff like Patreon, then you need an audience that's going to be okay with you asking for that support.
So I'm the person who I'm thinking of who does this super well is Kiki, PNW Black Lady. I was remembering her backup account. And I was like, I don't want to name the account that she doesn't have as many followers on. But you know, she gets these comments from people where she's like, yeah, I absolutely could explain this thing to you. If you sent me $10 on Venmo right now, I will absolutely do that. And like has a whole price list of like going down to like $50. I will watch an episode of Star Trek. Because she hates Star Trek.
Which someone did, by the way.
I know.
Oh my god.
Which is fucking hysterical. But like knowing exactly what you are worth, saying like, okay, so here's the approximate amount of time I'm going to take to talk about this and explain this to you. Pay me for my labor.
Yeah.
And she has an audience that, by and large, is supportive of that because she's been doing it for a long time, and because when she has someone come in and say like, you actually really shouldn't be doing this, she'll often comment reply and say, I should be doing this and here's why.
Mm-hmm.
Or she will just delete and block and be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is one, like, what a smart way to do it, and to like just consistently state to your audience, I am a person and my time has value.
Yeah, I remember in September of 2020 was the first month when I my car broke down, so I had to so I lost my job because my job was a census worker, and I started doing TikTok full time because I went on TikTok and I was like, hey, I can't pay my rent because I lost my job because my car broke. Can you help me pay my rent? And my audience did, and I was like, wait, you did that right away. Could I do this every month? And so I started doing that. But like in October, I got a commenter who just like started commenting, I'm really disappointed to see that you've sold out and you're just like all of your content is about needing money now, because it was like one video a week out of 5. And that really got in my head, and I wound up like not being able to make content for like a couple weeks.
The sold out comment is super interesting.
Yeah, the thing I really hate about that comment is just that the concept of selling out, like,
do you mean had financial success?
I mean, like
what the fuck is that?
But also like
the only sense in which I am aware of the concept of selling out being a literal concept where the metaphor could be drawn from is when you have a product and people are purchasing it, or you have a venue and you have filled it. And what the idea of like selling out as a contemptuous, like as a thing to be disappointed in implies in those cases is you are failing at your work when people are listening to you.
Yeah. Right?
it's funny to me because as a concept colloquially, like the way sellout is used is you are essentially giving up your morals and or values in exchange for cash, which is not what you were doing.
No.
And my morals and values are, in fact, already aligned with me getting money to survive.
Like, at no point is saying, hey, I would like to be paid for the value I put into the world, the same thing as selling out.
But yeah, this is
Selling out is anytime I am made to feel uncomfortable about the existence of capitalism.
there's also the flip side of this is this cultivating an audience that also feels okay with understanding I don't have money right now and I can't give to this, but I can give this person time, I can give this person comments, I can share this person's video. Like building an audience that understands that support does not always ultimately look like money, and it doesn't have to always look like money because not everyone can afford that all of the time.
Yeah,
And
we've got a chart in resources on the Toka Discord that goes over ways to support creators. That like it goes from the top at engagement, follow, watch videos, like, and comment, to sharing, which is better than engagement, sharing videos on other platforms, expanding the person's audience directly, tipping, which is better than sharing, which is like financial support, stable income, which is like support on Patreon, and then support for labor rights. You can back Official Toka on Patreon at patreon.com/Toka.
fucking
I'm
incredible.
So impressed with that. I was listening.
I will say Nightbot did give the little prompt at like such a good time. Good job, Nightbot. Proud of you. Even though you're on a timer and it's automatic, but like so proud of you, baby. Well
I think
done.
the halfway mark.
And yeah, like one of the things that I was saying, and I mean, part of the reason I'm doing better at this right now is just that I spent 13 hours practicing this weekend. I've been saying for a long time that I just need to get like enough practice in at doing like live streaming to get back to like the level that I was at when I was a paid canvasser. And I'm glad that I was finally forced to do that, because I've known that I was just like 10 hours of practice away from being good at this for about a year.
The comment from Ran Out of Cake of like, we don't take that stance when someone works in a factory or a bank. Only artistic spaces, we've been told that entertainment is of lesser value, and it's supremely frustrating. Yes, it fucking is.
We do also take that stance when somebody works at a fast food restaurant.
And then
Sure.
I was gonna the other part of this too is that it's oh god, okay, I can't get it out without just memifying it. Somebody doing an Uno reverse because they're jealous.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you are, a sellout because I wanted what you have on some degree, and I will not say it. I will just tell you that you're a sellout for doing it.
Well, and it's also the double-sided feeling of like, I am jealous that this is happening, and I feel that I deserve it, even if you perhaps have not done all of the things you need to do, like talk about it in public.
Or make a TikTok account and create content.
And have wine-colored hair.
I like that this is the horse that we're beating this episode.
So are you saying we need to change the subject again? What else is we talking?
Wait, real quick, speaking of selling out and the horse, Business.horse has been doing a lot of hits lately. And I would just like to assert that the reason I know that I have a top tier audience that I've like cultivated over the years and really like I've honed in on exactly what I want is that I got an email from email@email.org from Human Person.
Looks like we made it.
I also got an email from someone desperately seeking a horse for her granddaughter's birthday party. Her granddaughter doesn't like horses, but she does. So please, business horse, help me out. This is how I know they're good. Because they saw an opportunity to pull some stupid shit on me. And they're like, Cecilia gets these emails? Oh. I have gotten, at this point, 115 business inquiries for a business consultation with the horse. I would have to pay $300 in order to upgrade the Wix plan in order to actually allow people to book time with the horse. So I will not be doing that. But I could. Just wanted to bring that up.
I mean, 100 inquiries times $10 is enough money to cover the difference.
Yeah, but I don't want to just break even. I would want to profit off of the horse meetings.
Yeah, I'm assuming that if we assume that that more than a third of the people who expressed interest in the meetings show up,
Like the concept of people being like, yes, I would like to book this 10-minute meeting with the horse. With a business person who is not a horse. What you're talking about. Oh, boy.
I mean,
Life says, I still want business horse merch. Could we do a merch drop in order to fund the meetings?
I mean, we could.
We could. If you want to do that, I will buy what I need to buy in order to become the horse. All right.
Because we still need to have like an actual like discussion, debate, whatnot about are the pants from top down or the middle back.
Michael, for your information, it's not just a horse mask. There are also hooves that they sell.
We've already discussed this at length, guys.
You also need a person mask for the horse mask because businessperson@businessemail.com is
a horse is a person pretending to be a horse pretending to be a person.
Is a person as specified in the text. Is emphatically not a horse and doesn't know why people keep asking that.
Exactly. Yeah. And the secret is not revealed until they accidentally see my hooves.
So are you saying that too? Like,
my biggest problem is, like, as a person, right, is I find myself so funny that I will commit to the bit and be like, yes, I will release merch to fund this $300 not business opportunity.
Stop it, Michael.
And it behooves them to keep quiet.
I can't.
I read a book in Australia about a dog who could talk, and he wore a dog costume, so people thought he was a normal human man in a dog costume.
Wasn't that Wilfred?
I was about to say, this is giving me Wilfred vibes.
It's really.
I also really appreciate the community joke. Oh my god.
Oh Jesus Lord. Anyway, I just needed to bring up because the horse came up.
Just horse it around on your Wix website.
The question is, do we need to make Business Horse a Tumblr so that Business Horse can get in a fight with Plinko Horse?
Oh my god, stop.
No, my problem is that all of Business Horse's responses are just key smashes because he doesn't have any fingers.
That's true. Only hooves.
I am ashamed at how long that took me to get just now. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if we can wrap this up and just get stable.
Shut up! Stop! Oh. I like
this is proof that this is proof that we've curated the perfect Twitch. We have a great.
I'm furious that two of you made the same joke at the exact same instant.
Oh god. And like Okay, God, you know what will get like if Business Horse had their own TikTok, right? Too, like the
Oh,
video
Business
that
Horse
was
has
the
a
most-
TikTok.
Yeah.
I signed Business Horse up for a TikTok. It is one of the several
Really?
accounts that I have. Yeah.
Well, if you wanted to go viral, you need to do the hoof cleaning video because everybody asks, does it hurt the horse?
Oh
Here's the
no.
thing.
Stop it.
But it's actually donkeys. Like they're cutting donkeys' nails, and like those look real drastic. But that's fine. Donkeys are like, donkeys are like that. Their hooves just like grow out. So you're chopping like half the hoof out. Totally fine. Very different with the horse when you're clipping them.
I just.
Anyway.
Oh.
All right, so
Things I didn't need to know until I
right
joined
now,
TikTok.
coming up for the Wix site.
Yeah, Business Horse doesn't have a TikTok. They have a Clip Clop.
Micah, were you the only one who got that one?
What? I missed everything.
Oh, I said if we passed around to have who'd pony up for the Wix site.
Shut
Stop.
up. You shut up right now.
Okay.
Oh
Oh my
I love my
God. I mean, you
TikTok
almost
live
killed me on
podcast
Saturday.
is
Like here's like 2.0. Just
so sorry, TikTok live, that I am laughing at comments you can neither see nor you can't hear them because we're not reading them. We're just losing our mind. I'm sorry. You have to go to Twitch. You have to.
come at your own risk.
Excessive.
coming back around without making a fucking horse pun. Coming back around to the actual like subject at hand. No, it's not going to make us all horse. Leave us alone.
It's coming back around the track.
go to circling back, like horses.
Circling back. When we were talking
Get over
about
this hurdle.
when we coming back. Okay, coming back. Everybody got your fucking giggles out. We're good.
I'm trying so hard not to add.
So anyway, back at the ranch.
Anyway, so anyway. Okay. I'm trying so hard.
Hey. Hey.
Shut up. I hate you so Yeah, because there are only so many horse puns, but for some reason we're just going through them one by one.
Okay. So how Monday has your Monday been? Oh, horse puns are the way that we like release. That's
how we're really getting
that's
through
how
it.
Monday has been.
So coming
Deep
back
breath.
on the actual stream topic at hand that is not horse puns. But talking about the ways in which you can intentionally build your audience, the ways in which you can really think about the people that you are drawing to you, and what they walk away with. Oh, God, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of the chat.
I know it's like shut up.
What if people are sort of like struggling with this idea of like, because I know I as someone who doesn't have like that much, I know what my niche is, but do I have a like niche of content? No, I have a niche of like things that people ask for me. Like I know that I am a sound creator, and whatever that sound is, it'll be whatever, but people will use it for things. So when people are thinking about and trying to like conceive of who their audience is and what their audience looks like, I can't breathe. I'm sorry. I'm like falling apart on stream.
You need to get back in the saddle. Let's go.
I hate you so much.
I'm sorry, is all the laughing.
Oh
I didn't catch that one. Was it another goddamn horse pun?
No, of course not. I just asked if all the laughing was making you hoarse.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately. Unironically. It's
My
making
trigger
me
cubes.
laugh. Man,
Blythe,
what?
you're gonna actually kill me one of these days.
Oh my god. Blythe's horse past is coming to haunt us all. But when we were actually like talking about like I know a lot of people are in similar situations as me where they're like, I don't know who the fuck my audience is. I don't know what they want from me, and I don't know I don't know what kind of relationship they feel like they have with me. When we are talking about that, you can like do a personas exercise of like deciding who your ideal audience is, or maybe like who you think your audience currently is, some assumptions you have. You can also weirdly just ask them and like talk to them. I know it seems strange to be like, hey, I don't know who the fuck you people are, but I talk to you multiple times a day, every day.
If you've got a reasonably nerdy account, you can do a census. Which actually, I should do a census.
You should do a census. I would be so excited.
Do you want to help me do this?
Yeah, asking for feedback is like always, not only does it make more content, but it's always interesting because you will have people confess to you what it is that you're looking to hone in on.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you what would you like to see from me? They will tell you all the time. I see people do this all the time. Oh, well, I found you because of XYZ, and I would love to see more ABC, like whatever it is. And
I am talking about a TX census, but we are planning on doing a survey soon of Toka members to get more information about who we have involved.
Yep. But that is a whole other formal census.
Yeah, that is a much more serious project on the future growth of Toka.
But I think it's just like when it comes to like asking people about like telling people like here are the ways in which you can pay me. People are also really shy about just asking like, hey, what do you want from me? Mm-hmm. You could tell me. I'm like interested in hearing what you want from me. People are sometimes hesitant to do that because they feel like it makes them look like an amateur, like it makes them look incompetent. And that is, everyone does it at some point. Like everyone like pull out on Instagram of like, hey, how'd you find me?
Yeah. Doing a survey or a census feels like a really good move for my purposes in particular, because every time I've done just the like, hey, what do you guys want me to do? The loudest voices in the comments are always things I don't want to do. And then I feel like it looks like I'm ignoring my audience because I am, but like if it's like a private census, then I don't have to publish. Here are the list of things that people want me to do that I won't.
Yeah. I think definitely giving yourself the option, if you are someone who is going to get those comments of like, I'm going to get things that I don't want to do. And it's not just a question of like, how did you follow me or how did you find me? There are plenty of ways in which to get that information privately, without even technically sending them away. No, you can see the results of polls on most social media.
Mm-hmm.
But even
also, if you like lay out the boundary of like, these are things that I'd rather not delve into to help like at least try to curb those comments, it also challenges people to actually wait a beat before.
It can also help if you have a sense of like areas you might be interested in branching out to just provide options and ask people to give you feedback on which one. Like I did that on my Patreon to decide what kind of rewards to add, and that's why I've got a reading group now.
Yeah.
Which actually, that one was fun because every single time I've ever tried to start a reading group, so there were 6 people who were interested in the reading group, which was the largest number of responses I got to that poll for any column. And in my experience, if there are 6 people who are interested in joining your reading group, then when you actually run the reading group, a total of 0 of them will show up. Um, so so I got a bunch of other content creators, and we all like are pooling our audience to one big reading group. And the turnout rate has been sub one attendee per creator, but it has also been non-zero every time, which I'm really happy about.
Remarkable.
Like that's a position we can grow from, because it's a position where we're not going to stop doing it because it's so discouraging to show up and have nobody there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's also a little bit useful, both like creatively and just to like give yourself a break, to try, like, just jump into the new format thing you want to do, jump into something else you want to do, and just see who in your audience is reacting positively, see who's reacting negatively. Is it majority positive? Is it majority negative? I don't know why it suddenly got dark in here. Sorry. Why? Okay, there we go. I'm doing very well this evening. But like, is it majority positive? Is it majority negative? And like the ways in which you can kind of, like, the experiments don't always have to work out. The memory of TikTok is so short that like you can do remarkably bad one day and have like a very, very intense, don't you fucking dare. I saw the comment. You can do remarkably bad one day, delete the video and try again the next day. Like the stakes are not actually high. It feels like the stakes are high. They're not high at all.
Yeah, and also one of the other things is like if your content bombs, by definition, that means almost none of your audience saw it. Like if you have something do embarrassingly poorly, then most of your audience doesn't know that ever happened.
They don't know. They only see you sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I am very well aware that so much of my audience sees me like one whole time a month. They're like, there's that Cecilia again. I'm going to comment that I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, I got the I haven't seen you in a while comment today.
People hate hearing that one. Too, I always go to their profile, see how many people they follow. It's always over 1,000. I come back, I comment, do you think that's because you follow X number of people? And they will either unfollow me, which is a victory, or they will comment back with maybe. And perhaps never make that comment again. So either way, I win.
Yeah, Blythe and I were on my stream on Saturday and realized that it had been months since either of us had seen each other's content, which was surprising because Blythe had apparently just had a series that was like unusually successful, and I thought that I would see like at least when Blythe stuff blows up, that I would see it.
My personal favorite was yesterday, you seeing a video of mine that was like a friends only video from March.
Yeah, no, that was funny.
Let me guess, was that on your following page?
It was on my friend's page.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they've done something again, because the FYP, at least for me, seems to be starting to do that almost like weekly reset cycle like it used to do back in 2019, where it's like I will get themes on a week, but there are still some creators that like I have been following since day one, like literally day one. I can only see them on my following. It makes no sense.
One of the things that every time I go to like purge my the people I'm following, is like I'm scrolling through and I'm like, well, I like you, but I never see you. But if I never see you, then you're not like clogging up my page. You're not clogging up my feed. So the fact that I'm following you is just a bookmark. So not deleting you. Oh, you haven't posted in over a year? Why would I unfollow you? Maybe you'll post again sometime. It's not like you're clogging up my feed. Like just everybody who's just like doing nothing, and like it doesn't matter that you're there. Like you're essentially already not there.
Do you know what pisses me off beyond belief with that though? Have you ever unfollowed someone and then instantly they're back on your FYP?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. I unfollowed someone very purposely because they were making content that I just did not enjoy anymore and like could not get behind. And
I will unfollow somebody if I'm seeing their content and I'm sick of it. I don't unfollow people if I haven't seen their content in a while.
Yeah, I have to be in an active state. But like I specifically unfollowed this person because they were making content I didn't like, and I told TikTok I don't want to see this, and it's been constant. Like I am constantly barraged with their content now. I feel crazy. It's great.
I have a very brief story too about like you're gonna love this. Okay, so I started following a person when I first got onto the app that was doing nothing but bookbinding because I don't know what it is. I enjoy watching bookbinding. I follow like 10 different people that's all that they post. One guy all of a sudden has decided that they're going to do very little bookbinding content anymore. All of a sudden they're doing like dad jokes and this really weird, obscure, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Maybe it's a roleplay character. I don't know. But they have a decapitated head and they're dressed as a mad scientist. And the first time that showed up on my page, I go, what the shit is this?
Oh, they're just
And then I looked at the username and I go, oh, it's them. What? This is not bookbinding, not even close. So like 3 years straight of bookbinding content, all of a sudden this weird like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation shows up and I don't know how to respond.
I'm actually about to pivot drastically and no one will ever see my face ever again in any of my videos. I'm making only aesthetic content now.
You're with the horse on.
Yeah. Just me frolicking through Flushing Meadows Park with the horse mask on. Yeah.
It'll be a horse of a different color.
I am going to tell you. Like, I say this to you a lot. I threaten bodily harm to you constantly because it's my love language. But please know that, like, that is a choice that I could make someday. Like, you're going to tell a joke and it's going to be huge.
So I'm going to let you know right now, later this week, I'm going to visit a mutual who is temporarily in New Hampshire. They are in like the southwest corner of New Hampshire. So I'll be about an hour closer to you than usual if you want to come murder me with a witness who is on TikTok.
Okay. I'm ready. I love
After Saturday's stream,
love.
I am not at all surprised by that content.
Yeah.
Comment about wanting to make it into content. Like, if you're going to murder me, at least do it for views.
At least do it for the fucking views, man. For the vine. I
want to say who it is because it would add to this joke, but I also don't want to dox my friend.
Yeah, please. You're already kind of doxing yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to find me in a quarter of Massachusetts.
Yeah,
Well,
we have to
1, 2,
make
3,
that.
4 Internet Street.
Do we have to make that little image for people about how to not dox yourself on the internet?
Do we have to show you your own graphic?
Well, yes, but you have wine-colored hair, so that's definitely cuts the population.
In Massachusetts.
In Massachusetts. In the granola part of Massachusetts.
But thankfully, all you need to do is put on a hat, and then that's good.
In the part of Massachusetts that regularly tries to
one
succeed.
horse. God damn it!
Like a fucking meltdown.
Yeah, it all comes back around like horseshit.
I don't own a car. I don't own a car, but the temptation to drive to New Hampshire.
I mean, get a horse.
I'm gonna ride a horse.
Do you name your
200
cars?
miles? I don't know how many miles. Don't ask me about the mileage.
If you name your car, though, are you going to name it Mr. Ed?
I'm gonna have to. At this point.
Yeah, I mean, if you rent a car, then you will have a whole lot of horsepower.
Yeah.
That's not even a pun. That's just a description of cars.
I know it is. I understand that, but the problem is that we call cars things that like have horse puns in them.
I actually just saw a TikTok about where horsepower comes from because somebody was Googling it, and apparently like the Google result for how much horsepower does a horse have is like 15.
Mhm.
But it's because that figure is determined from like horse pull contests, which are like how much weight can this horse pull over the course of like 5 seconds. Whereas horsepower was determined by like how much weight can a healthy horse pull over the course of an entire workday and continue to be able to work.
Yes.
So what I am hearing is 1 horsepower is 15 horses, and not 1 horse is 1 horse.
No, it's on the scale of what can an individual horse do in like an immediate burst of energy. A horse has about 15 horsepower.
But why isn't it 1?
Because it's 1 if the horse is working all day. That is how much you will get out of the horse if you are giving the horse a healthy load.
You know, when someone explains board game rules to you and they think they're being helpful, but actually you understand slightly less now? This is the phenomenon I'm having. You're going to explain this to me later. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to read it. And I'm going to process it.
I think you have just officially found your next video to post about. Please talk more about horsepowers on a TikTok.
We learned this
in our life.
from a TikTok today. Make a TikTok of
Did we post?
I just naturally assumed that horsepower was how much executive power 1 horse can wield.
Oh,
Right.
That makes sense too. So we have spoons and they have horsepower.
Which, I mean, we've learned a lot about that from like a couple years ago when we let that horse loose in the hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so weary.
I don't know how many like actual dollars and non-milk dollars you are going to have to pony up to Cecilia for this whole interaction today, but it's a lot.
See, look, first of all, I'm ignoring Horsepital. I'm ignoring Horsepital. I'm going above it. It says 1 horsepower is 1 horse. Don't worry about the burst of many horses. I'm the burst of the many horses.
It is 9:02.
And the Toka Monday night stream on the topic of managing your fandom and horse puns. Good night.
Good night.